Can you see my screen? How do I close that? Hide it. There it is. You should be able to see my screen now. Yes. So everybody's seeing my screen, and I'm moving on here into our webinar. All right. First of all, thank you for taking your time today to come to Affiliate Resource Group's one of their best practice webinars. This one's on Advanced Find. This is going to help you out a little bit with Advanced Find and doing some common best practices while using it. It's also going to be teaching you a little bit about Advanced Find. So this one's a little bit different than our other best practices. We're actually going to do a little bit of training as we go into this. So first off, I'm going to go through the agenda here. We're going to go through some introductions. I'm going to go through what is an Advanced Find, then the Advanced Find Best Practices overview. We're going to create a couple simple Advanced Finds, which will actually create us a simple report as well. We're going to share some Advanced Finds. We're going to create a complex Advanced Find. We're going to learn how to link multiple entities together. We're going to learn various linking strategies, and then we're going to go into Q&A. Now, before I go much further, I'd like to say that if you have a question as we're going through this, if you'll use the question portion of the webinar to ask a question, Bill here, well, it's going to be fun for you guys. We're both Bill. I'm Bill Owens. And Bill, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Bill Rockwell. I'm the CRM Solution Specialist here at Affiliated Resource Group.
Right. So he's helping me out. He's manning the questions right now. And we'll be going through this. So first of all, who is Affiliated Resource Group? Who are we? Affiliated helps organizations identify and evaluate and implement solutions designed to use new and existing technologies that allow your team to drive operational efficiency, customer responsiveness, and increase profit revenue. In summary, that's one of our taglines, but in summary, we've been in business for over 20 years. And we actually have had 8 years as a Microsoft CRM Gold Partner, working with Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So we have 8 years with Microsoft CRM, so we've been around for quite a while, since the beginning of the time, it seems like. So moving on, I'm going to introduce myself a little bit. I wish I had a better picture, but there it is. My name's Bill, or William Owens. I've been with Affiliate for over 17 years now. And in those 17 years, actually, I started heading up our Microsoft CRM practice here. You're not seeing it? Excuse me for a second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to move back here because apparently you may not be seeing my screen. There it is. Okay. All right, now we are back. So I've been with the system for 17 years. It seems to be a little bit of delay there, Bill.
Yeah, it's a little bit of delay.
All right, so I've been with the Affiliate Resource Group for 17 years. 8 of those years have been working with Microsoft CRM. I've worked with CRM 1.2, 3.0, 4.0, and 2011. Yes, the gambit. And since 4.0 and 2011, it's been a mixture of online and on-prem. Before that, obviously, it was on-prem. I'm very much a CRM advocate. If you guys get to know me, been around, been through some of my training, you'll find out that I usually get up on the soapbox and start talking about Microsoft CRM, and I just love what it can do for a business. I do have a blog out there. If you go to blog.aresgroup.com/CRM, you'll see it. You can also email me. So moving on. We're going to go through what is Advanced Find and how does it work and why you should use it. First of all, Advanced Find is a way for you to grab data from the system. Yippee skippy. I know that's a very simple way of saying it, but if you have a Microsoft Dynamics CRM system, what you have right now is a knowledge management system. And within any knowledge management system, you're going to want to try to get information from it. Now, a lot of times I keep going through with people, what's the difference between information and data? Data and information. People tend to get it mixed up and confused. Because the CRM system, you put in lots and lots of data, but you don't get information from it until you do something with it. And so the difference between data and information is data is discrete pieces of knowledge. However, you put a whole bunch of data together and you still only have data. It's until you put some logic, some constraints, some filtering, something on top of it, and confine it into a logical set, that's when you have information. Information is something that you can act upon. Example being, give me every opportunity in the system that is over $500,000 or more. Well, that's information you can deal with. But if you said, show me all the opportunities, then you see all the opportunities. I know many of you probably have gotten those Excel spreadsheets with 10,000 rows of data in it, and guess what the word is? Data, data. 10,000 rows do not help you out. It's when you actually start doing the filtering on it. That's when you actually get your information that you can act upon. Is there a question? Right. First of all, sorry to go silent there for a second. There was a question about people having problems with audio. We ran the thing up front, and it seemed like everybody was saying yes, they could hear us. I'll try to reach back out to her. So Bill's going to reach out back to you, whoever's asking the question right now. So moving on, how does Advanced Find work? Advanced Find allows you to put a query together to go over into this data that's all over your system and pull that information from there. So it's going to be able to pull out whatever you can put together and put it into a set of data that's actually information that you can act upon. So that's why you really want to use this, is because you have all this knowledge going into the system. You need some way to pull it out and to act upon it. And that's what this is really all about. That's what Advanced Find is all about. So best practices for Advanced Find. I'm going to cover this in a fairly high level. Now, everybody who attended here will get an email with the this best practice as a PDF so that you can print it out, read it, do whatever you'd like. But first of all, what's the first thing? Starting. How do you start an Advanced Find? Well, the problem with Advanced Find is it allows you to actually search data across almost all the entities in the Microsoft Dynamics CRM system. There's a lot of entities. So when you first pop open Advanced Find, it can be daunting trying to find the system and the data that you want. So what I typically ask people to do is just go to where all of your data is at. If I need to find all my contacts, or say, if I need to find all contacts in Ohio that are active, what I would do is I would go to Contacts, drop down the view and says All Active Contacts, or Active Contacts, depends on how you rename that, and then I would hit the Advanced Find button. Because what it's going to do is it's going to read your screen that you're on and the view you're on and bring it already up for you in filter mode. And that gets you started. And a lot of people can work this way when they're first starting. As you start using Advanced Find more and more, you'll probably skip that and just hit the button and go to where you want. But when you're first starting out, this helps you figure it out. You also need to go to the entity of the data that you want to receive back. And if you notice that I said I wanted all contacts in Ohio. But if I said I wanted all contacts in Ohio that are attached to accounts and where the accounts are in Ohio, I'm still going to go to contacts. If I need to say give me all accounts that are in Ohio that have an opportunity, I would go to accounts, because that's what the data is I want to get back. Even though we may be limiting it down to opportunities, it's what I want to come back to me. It's where I want to start. All right, security. Well, the big thing with security is that as you do an Advanced Find, one of the really nice things about Advanced Find is you can save it. So you save these reports out. And what you can do then is share those. So you have this really nice report. You can actually share it with your team. And your team can then have the Advanced Find available to them. Advanced Finds will also show up. So like if I said, I made an Advanced Find with all the contacts in Ohio and I saved it as active contacts in Ohio, you'll see under the views for contacts, underneath my views, which will be underneath in the view section, you'll say active contacts in Ohio. Now, if I want to share that with my team, what I would do is and I'll show you this a little bit later. We just open up the Advanced Find, go to Save Views, click on it, say Share, and you pick your team or person you want to share it with. Now, there's some best practices while you're sharing it out. When you share it out, I would always share it to a team or start creating teams, because it's easier to pull people in and out of a team versus unsharing individual objects with them. And the other side of it is that when you share it, you want to give them access to share, those people to access to share, so they can unshare it if they don't want to see it. All right. So then moving on, multiple levels of queries. Oh my, this is when it gets a little complicated. And this is where the word advanced in the advanced find actually comes into play. Because what happens is in the advanced find, you can take it for your entity, and then you can link it to another entity, and you can link that entity to another one. And after a while, it can get a little bit overwhelming and daunting. And if you don't know the data in your system, you can mess it up fairly quickly. So one of the best practices I have on that one, and we'll show it to you in a little bit, but at each level, test. Oh yeah, and try testing again. And the reason I say that is the related part of it can be a little bit confusing, and you can have like a three-nested query. So say, give me all contacts attached to accounts that have open opportunities where the opportunity is over $500,000. Well, that's 3 levels. And so what you're going to do is when you put your first link between contacts to accounts, run the query. Make sure you get data back. If you're not, you messed up. Or really there's no data there, but most times there's data there. And then once you get that coming back, then you link on the opportunities. Before you put any filter on the opportunity, make sure data comes back. And that's what I'm trying to talk about. It's just test at every level. Then the other thing is that you can set your personal options. And I'll show you where that's at too. But when I'm saying personal options is the fact that by default, everybody's in simple mode. And simple mode is for consuming advanced finds, not utilizing it. And 9 times out of 10, most people want to run advanced finds, to use them, and they're not consuming it. And so if you go into your advanced find, your personal options, you can change your advanced find from being simple to detail, and it's going to save you hunting and clicking on the detail item on the advanced find page. And we'll see that in a little bit. Now, the last thing that's on my best practices is trying to help you understand the related. Related can become very confusing because until you understand how it's putting together and how your data is moving back and forth, it's daunting. I mean, if you look at the list to the right down here, you're going to see that that's a fairly significant list. So you have to be careful what you're dealing with. But we'll show you that in a little bit. Now, so I'm going to do a demo right now. And in that demo, I'm going to show you how to create a couple simple advanced finds, and then from that, do a report. All right. Actually, I'm going to start with the report first, and then show you some simple advanced finds. And then we're going to do some sharing of the advanced finds. We're going to create the complex advanced find, and then we're going to learn how to do some linking to multiple entities and some of the strategies. So we've already been over a couple of the strategies here. So moving on, let me open up my Outlook. So now I'm in Outlook. I can click on Affiliate Resource Group here on the left-hand side, and I get my CRM over here. Just so happens I'm in Contacts. I'm under the Active Contacts. So I'm actually going to do a simple advanced find for you right now. Is I want to do a really cool report. I want to get a bar chart of counts of active. I want active accounts. And I want to do a bar chart over, give me a count by state. So what I'm going to do is go to active accounts. Again, go to where all your data is at. I didn't say my active accounts. I said active accounts. So there's active accounts, and I'm going to hit advanced find up here. Once I do that, you're going to see that it recognizes where I'm at. It says I'm looking for accounts, and I'm using this as my default view. Again, if you look at all your options, that's where it can get daunting. And here's the views on the entity I'm looking for. Now, if you notice it says active right here, if I was wanting to edit it, I have to hit details to go edit this around. And I'm going to show you that in a little bit. And I'm also going to show you how to get around this by setting your personal options. So anyway, if I hit the result sets and I run it, this is actually a query. It's looking through my CRM system for all active accounts. All right, well, that's somewhat handy, but I think I said I want to do the counts by state. But I don't see states on here. Let me go back to my advanced find. By clicking up top, it says advanced find. And then I'm going to click on edit columns. When edit columns comes up, I can click wherever I want to put it. I'll put it right here after the email. I'll just click right there and I'll hit add columns. First thing I want to do is add in the state. So address 1, state Providence. There it is. I'll check on it, hit OK. It shows up. If I wanted to make it bigger, I could double click on it. And unfortunately, this is not the best. I wish it would say small to big and put a slider here. But that's really what this is saying with these option sets. Really small pixels to really big pixels. Yes, we all deal with pixels every day. So apparently a programmer did this and didn't think that we needed to have a more friendly one. So anyway, 100 is the default. If I make it 150, you'll see that the column just expanded out a little bit more. So I'm going to hit OK. Now I'm going to run it again by hitting the bang, the exclamation point at the top. I run it, and oh, there we go. I now have states. But I talked about having this report from here. This in itself is a report. I now have every active account, and I have their state, so I know who they are. But if I want to put in more detailed information, I can then hit Export Accounts up at the top. And when I do that, I'm going to get four options. I mean, the first two are simple. Static for everything on the page, so it's going to give me 50. Static with all pages, so it's going to give me 220 in an Excel spreadsheet. But it's these other two that are actually very powerful and very useful. The dynamic worksheet, it's actually going to save in my Excel spreadsheet this query, and it's going to get the data from CRM every time I bring it up, and it refreshes. But I'm going to do a dynamic pivot table and say, because I want to do a chart with it, so I'm going to hit Export. And now what it's going to do is I'm going to just hit Open. I could save it off. It's going to open up my Excel. Now, welcome to the day and age of viruses everywhere. And since we're doing something a little complicated, the Excel comes up and goes, you know what, this might be kind of dangerous. So it's going to ask me to enable it. So I hit Enable. I'm going to hit Enable again. Now what I need to do is go over to my data. If you read this, it tells you what to do. Go over to my data and hit Refresh from CRM. Now you really only have to do that once you save it off. Now, what it's doing is going out to CRM right now over the internet. This is the CRM online. Oh, and that's one thing I didn't tell you. I just created this account today, this CRM online today. I did drop in 4,000 contacts and about 220 accounts so I could have data. Normally I do my training with the out of the box with no changes, but with Advanced Find I sort of have to have data in the system, or else this is not very entertaining. So anyway, it's now got me data in the system. So now what I'll do is I'll just drop over here address 1 state. I'll drop it right over here on the row. I'll take the account name, drop it there, and now see I have one in AK, four in Alabama, some in Arizona. This is kind of interesting. What'd you say, Bill?
It's very interesting.
So to take it a little bit further, because it's not so good without having pretty pictures for everybody, we'll hit Insert, and I'm going to do a bar chart. Now, visually, this helps us out. I can instantly say, hey, we have a whole bunch of accounts in California, in Texas, New York. It just makes it easier to see how it's distributed out. Now, I said that this is dynamic. Here's let's just pick on Hawaii. We always like to pick on Hawaii. There's one account in the system for Hawaii. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hit Save. And we'll just put it on the desktop for right now. I'm going to save this worksheet out and close it out. And what I want to do is I want to go actually into the CRM system right now and create a new account in Hawaii. New Hawaii. And just because I'm only using this field, I'm going to put Hawaii right here. And I'm going to hit Create. So it creates me an account in Hawaii. Now, I don't have a lot of data in here, but what I want to do is show you the following. I can now go to the Excel spreadsheet that I just saved, run it, enable content, hit data, refresh from CRM, and now Hawaii says 2. And we have to be a little patient because it's going over the wire. Now, hey, look, where is it at? Hawaii. Hawaii says 2. We didn't change anything. The nice thing about this, ladies and gentlemen, is you can actually write your reports. A lot of times you get data out of the systems. So your current systems are out there and people want reports, and a lot of times IT can't give it to you fast enough, so you ask for the data. You get an Excel, you make it pretty, you format it up, you spend 4 hours doing it. Then next week your boss says, hey, that was really good, and they say, can we do that? Can you do that again this week? And there goes another 4 hours of your life, and you know it's going to be a pattern. So this allows you to actually create those reports and have it update automatically, so it looks, so you can do those nice reports for your boss without having to spend the 2 to 4 hours doing it all the time. All right, so that's enough of that. Let me go back to CRM here, and let's go into another thing, a simple CRM, advanced find. Let's just say I want to get a list of all my contacts that are in Ohio. That's simple enough. If you haven't noticed, we're from Ohio, so that's why I pick on Ohio. So first thing I want to do is go to my contacts, and I want all active contacts, not just mine. I want all of them. So I'm going to go to active contacts. Here's the view for active contacts and hit advanced find. Now as advanced find comes up, you notice it picked out my stuff, and it's, oh, here we go again. I can't edit it because it's in the detail, it's in, and then it's detail mode. So I have to hit details, so it puts it in so that I can actually edit it. Great. So here's my active contacts. I just hit select right here and go down to address 1 state, Providence, and type in OH and hit results. And voila, I have 136 contacts in Ohio. But just so you don't have to take my word for it, let me go back to advanced find and hit edit columns. And I want to add in the state on here so you can see that it is limited. So I'm going to add it back in on the columns. Like I said, like I did before, as I hit edit columns and I hit add columns and I added it up where I wanted it. There it is. So now if I hit results, you see that it is working. Now, let's just say I want to save this off. How do I save it off? Well, because it's a system view right now and it's not a personal one, I can't save it, but I can hit save as. So when I hit save as, I'm going to come up here and say active contacts in Ohio. And I hit OK. I now have it saved. It is actually that simple for me to save it. If I hit save views, you'll see all my saved views out there. There's active contacts in Ohio. But what does that do for me? If I get out of here and I go back to my Outlook, so I'm back to my Outlook, I'm going to get off my contacts and back on it so it will refresh it. There we go. So I needed to refresh. What I'm going to see here now when I drop down my views is my views, active contacts in Ohio. And if I hit that, I now have that query come on up. This is pretty interesting, isn't it, Bill?
Very interesting.
Hey.
Very interesting. Very helpful.
Yeah, Bill's been pounding on the system, learning it, and doing more and more with it. Quite excited. He started up with Affiliated, what, 4 months ago?
About 2.5.
2.5? All right, it seems like 4 months. He's been a lot of fun. So anyway, so if we move on to this thing and take it a little bit further, let's just take it a little bit further and do the emerald on it and put the BAM into it and say, you know what, really it's not a contacts in Ohio. I want my contacts that are associated with accounts that are in Ohio. Because I have a lot of people, you know, there's people that live in Ohio that work for accounts that are in Washington State. I'm not going to go pay a visit to them at their house. It's really their account where I'm going to pay them a visit at, or whatever. So what I can do is I can edit this one by just navigating to the one I had, hit edit or advanced find, bring up the advanced find page, and now again what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this one. But as it comes up, I realize, you know what? I'm back into this silly mode right here, and it's just painful to edit it. So let me close back out of this and show you how to change those options. I'm going to click that. I'm going to hit File, CRM, Set Personal Options. Now, if you're on the web version of this, of CRM, you would just hit File at the top and go to Personal Options. So right here on the first page is your advanced find. It comes out in simple. We want detailed. So if I hit detail and I hit OK, now whenever I do an advanced find, it will put it in detailed mode. So now I'm going to hit advanced find, make the screen bigger. And as the page loads, we're going to see that we're now in detail mode. And that makes life so much easier for us. Because now what I want to do is actually delete this by dropping down here and saying delete, because I want to go into what's called related. So what I do is I click the select now, and I start whipping on down until I see a bold thing that says related. There it is. Now here's all my related entities. So we know that accounts have contacts that work for them. All right, so how do you understand related? If you look at all this wonderful junk on related, my choices seem endless. So how do you understand what it is? Well, first of all, when you see the parens in here, one side is a label on the screen and the other side is an entity. So it makes it a little bit easier when you look at this as, okay, this is going to an account and it's the primary contact. So this is the account's primary contact. No, that's not what I want. So how about I want to, since I'm on contacts, I want the parent customer, or the customer, where is that? Let's go down here. Parent customer that goes to an account. Because the customer record can be an account or a contact. That's why you get two of them here. But if you look on the contact screen, on this one, this is out of the box, it says parent customer. So this is the label on the screen, and this is the entity that it's linked up to. Example being the owning team is this team, or the owning user is that, or created by up here, which is on the screen, is created by, and it gives you the user. So that's how you figure out what you're looking for a little bit better with advanced finds. Now, if you see anything that's alone, like leads, this means any leads associated with the contact. So on the left-hand side, or say it was opportunities, like down here, opportunities. Here's the opportunities where it's the contact. So those are little spin-offs. So it makes life a lot easier when you understand how your data is linked together, and makes these a little bit clearer. But even with me saying a little bit of it, you have to play with it before you get the gist of it. So by the way, I just actually made a change. I said, give me all my active contacts where the parent customer is a contact. Actually, I hit the wrong one. Parent customer is an account. So parent customer is account. Now, I've actually done a selection right here. No contacts will be shown in this result that do not have a parent customer that's an account. So if you have contacts associated with parent customers that are contacts, they will be omitted from this. If they have no value in parent customer, those will be omitted as well. This is actually doing something right this moment. So what I want to do is, since I'm putting levels, is I want to hit results to make sure I'm getting data back. Okay, good. I got data back. And the reason I said that is, remember earlier I made the mistake and I put it to contact? and I hit this result, it would come back and tell me there's no data. I would instantly know that I messed something up. So that's why I say every time you make a level step here, and that's part of the best practices, every time you add another level, you test. And the more complicated your query is, you test every step of the way. So now we're getting data back. So now I want it so where the account address 1 state is equal to Ohio. And if you look at this, it starts leveling out. These fields are to contacts. These fields are to the account. Okay? So here's all the contacts that are in Ohio. So I hit run result set, and I've got back 186 of them. The thing you should notice is that the contact address is going all over the place now. Because the contacts aren't in Ohio, the account is in Ohio. So let's just prove that by going back to Advanced Find, hit Edit Columns, go to the end, and add in a lookup field off of one of our other entities. So the way that we do that is when this thing comes up, this record type, I can go down to my parent customer account, click it, and now I get all the fields to it, and I go down to address 1, state Providence, hit OK. And I'm going to make this bigger so that you can see the name a little bit easier. Hit OK. Now I hit run. So now here's this parent. This is off the contact, but this is off parent customer. And that's the one I filtered. So they're all in Ohio, but the contacts are all over the place. So I'm showing you how a little bit, take that one step up, make it a little bit more advanced. All right. So now let's go back here and save this one as, let's go save this one, hit save as, and we're going to call it active contacts with accounts in Ohio. Hit OK. Now that I got this, Bill's over here going, hey, that's kind of cool. Can I get that? And so, Mr. Rockwell, we can definitely do that for you. What I'm going to do is share this with the team because it's probably not just Bill that wants it over here. Everybody wants this one because we're dealing with a lot of things in Ohio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Advanced Find again and just hit the Save Views. And there it is, the active contacts with accounts in Ohio. So what I can do is I can check on that and I can hit Share. Please share with teams. So I'm going to hit Add Users. All right, so I'm going to hit Add Users, and then I'm going to look up teams. And I just have this one team out here for right now, so I'm just going to choose it and hit Add, hit OK. Now it's on here. Now I'm giving them read access, but you know what? I'm going to give them share as well so they can unshare it. Because the best thing, if you really want to mess around with people, is you can create an advanced find and call it, Bill's funny looking. And then I can share it with Bill and give him read only, and it shows up on his views, but he can't get rid of it. So every day he gets to see that. Okay, I'm trying to make a joke here. It's not really funny because you can do that, and you can cause bad things with it, and they can't do anything about it. So what you want to do is make sure people can take the share away. Just some of the best practices here. Also, sharing with a team is better than sharing with an individual. Okay, so I hit OK. Now what happens is everybody in the system right now that belongs to that team can see this advanced find. Nice. It works out pretty well that way. Okay. Now, to date right now, I've shown you a couple simple ones, but why don't we just take this one into the large factor. I want to see every contact in the system associated with an account where the account has an open opportunity that's over $500,000, because the contact list that's coming back are my new best friends. Okay, this is my new best friend list. Okay, so what am I going to do? Well, I have to sit there and study what I just asked for. I said I want to see all contacts. Oh, well then, let me go to all contacts. Here's my active contacts in the system. All right. Associated with accounts. Okay, so let me do my advanced find right here. So active contacts, go related, find my parent customer to account. Okay, so all contacts related to accounts where the account has opportunity. Okay, so now I have to go underneath the parent account and go down to its related. And then I go look for opportunity. Okay, so where the account is an opportunity. Okay, yep. So opportunity account. So here's all my opportunities. And I said where it's open, so I need to go to its status. Now here's where you get in a mess, is you flip down here because S is at the end, right? It's near Z and everything else. But you flip down here and you start looking for status and it's causing a problem. It's because you're in related. The fields come first, then the related come after it. So now I have to go back up here and now I look, oh, there's status. So status equals, I hit the ellipticals here and say open, hit OK. Now the one thing you haven't seen me do is test out every level. Every level I should have been testing, but I've done this so many times, I'm just skipping it to the end right now. Then I want to go out here and say where the estimated revenue, and this is where people get in trouble, is it equal to, or sorry, is it greater than or greater than and equal? So is it $500,000 and above or above $500,000? And I'm going to say $500,000 or above, so it's greater than or equal to $500,000. Now let's run this. Now here's my 44 new best friends. Now I think we should probably go verify this. How would I verify it? Well, first of all, I'm going to open up one of the accounts. I see Central Perk. Did I mention the fact it's test data? All right. So here's Central Perk. All right. So yeah, okay, we got that. We got a whole bunch of contacts. All right. So let's go open up opportunities. So let me go out here and hit opportunities. So I'll go to my sales, opportunities, and let me look how many 500,000 or better, $500,000 or better. I have two of them. One with Central Perk and one with Allied Biscuit. All right. So if I go back to my Advanced Find, Allied Biscuit, Central Perk, I can click here to sort. Yeah. Okay. So those are the only two I have there. So it did work for me. So these are the 44 new best friends. So now let me go save this as new best friends list. So I'm going to go out here and say save as new best friends forever. Best friends forever. BFF. So here's my new BIFs. All right. So we've taken it a little bit step further. We've shown the sharing. We've shown that aspect of it. We've shown somewhat of a complicated report right here where it does work. And again, back into your Advanced Find, if I go to my contacts and I look at the views that we've created, here's the two that we created. I can click on them and see them. This is sort of a report too, guys. Very nice report. I can go to my opportunities and see my BIFs. Right? Wait a minute, where did my BIFs go? Oh, there's my new BIFs right there. Why is that? And if you notice, you would almost want to go to opportunities because it's dealing with the opportunities that are $500,000 or better. But what really it is I want to see the contacts, and that's where I kept going back to saying you have to start where your data that you're showing is at. Even though that the real filter is off opportunities, it's not going to show under opportunities. It's going to show under contacts because these are the ones with the big opportunities. So far, so good. Were there any questions so far? No, just the one person can hear? Yeah. All right. So moving on, I wanted to cover just a little bit more of what I was talking about with the related. This is the part where it gets very, very confusing. And when you get the PDF for the best practices, it would probably behoove you to spend a little bit of time looking at this and understanding a little bit more. This is the place where everybody really gets confused. And we're running a little bit early because we got through quite a little bit here. I usually talk a little fast, so I will apologize on that one. But what we're going to do now is go into our Q&A session. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them up on the question side, and I will try to answer any that come up. If not, I will actually probably call you and we'll do a one-on-one on it. So if there's any questions on Advanced Find, feel free to ask those questions right now. Other than that, I do appreciate everybody staying for this webinar and giving me your time today to go over Advanced Find. So here's some of my contact information that's coming up in case you guys want to call me, email me. Okay. Looks like we're getting a question here. All right. No, right now we don't have much. I'm going to hang on for about 5 minutes here. I'm going to mute this. So if you guys will ask a question, need to ask a question, formulate a question within the next 5 minutes, feel free to hit it on the question part, and I will answer that. I'm around for the next 15 minutes to help anybody out. Thank you.